What's going down?
Good morning. How are we doing today, Jake? Beautiful, blissful Thursday today.
Man, it's beautiful outside. How you doing today, buddy?
Man, feeling great. The sun, the energy is all on me, and I know it's all on you, and I'm thankful for you to be here, man.
No, I appreciate it, man. I'm excited about doing this with you guys.
Where do we begin? Where do we start with Mr. Jake's story? I want you to open up yourself.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We want to just hear a little bit of Mr. Jake right now. The people want to hear.
Dang, they want to hear?
Yeah, they want to hear. I know you have a lot of stories to tell, but let's start with what's coming from your heart right now. Something that you want to begin and tell the story to the people.
Yeah. So anyway, man, it's been a wild ride. I've been blessed beyond comprehension. I mean, I never would have imagined. So, things started out a little rough when I was young. My dumb butt decided to run away from home for some reason when I was young. I had a great family, still have a great family. But I went out there and made things a little tougher on myself from the beginning. From the beginning, I made things tougher on myself. I always was looking for something that I couldn't find, I guess, when I was young, and through those teen years, I ended up getting myself in trouble, hanging out with the wrong crowd, selling drugs. I ended up getting locked up. So, I started out with everything stacked against me. My education, ninth grade education, man, had a criminal history when I was young. And I never made those excuses, though. I got to a point where, I turned all those disadvantages into my advantages. And that's what I was able to do. I think some of the strongest people you'll ever meet in life have gone through the most adversity, right? I don't know about you. That's what I've seen.
Yeah, that's very right. And you said something important there about excuses. We all try to make excuses every day instead of thinking the other side and be like, let's not think about the excuses. Let's think about how can I make my day today. And I know as you being a really successful business owner with your business, and I know that when we talked about earlier in the days, you had multiple businesses. Mm-hmm. So I know this is going to get into through the podcast, many multiple stories. Yeah. But do you want to hit something in there? One of the first businesses that you started?
Yeah, I think it's crazy because my professional experience is just like a story in itself, of course. My jobs, it's almost like a Forrest Gump situation. When I was real young, the first job I had, I think, was at McDonald's. And I remember even at McDonald's, I wanted to be the best for some reason. I wanted to kick everybody's butt at that McDonald's. If we were wrapping up burgers or you're working the drive-thru, anything they were counting data or stats on, I wanted to be the best at. So, I'm all of 14 or 15 years old. I might have lied on the application to work early. And I ended up being the manager, like after a month or two of opening McDonald's. It was actually the first McDonald's out in the Houston area that tried to sell pizza. It was in Katy, old Katy, long time ago. I was on the grand opening team there. And, dude, I was a kid and I became the manager. And I had a competitive drive in me and I just wanted to be the best at what I did. Growing up, Michael Jordan was always my hero. I watched Michael Jordan. And something inside of me told me, I could be Michael Jordan. Maybe it wasn't basketball. But if I went and I did something, and my friends and family know this, I'm highly competitive. Anything we do, I want to whoop your butt, whether it's a board game or we're swimming or I don't care what it is. I want to be the best. I want to, whoop everybody's butt. But so that carried me a long way in life. Little would I know how much it would come back to save me later in life, that competitive spirit and wanting to be the best, right? So, I work at McDonald's. I think my next job was at Kroger. I started there as a cashier. A couple weeks later, all my friends from high school that were there working at Kroger with me, they worked for me. I was a manager there after a few weeks. You guys remember Garrett, Kevin? No, they do. They remember. It was funny. They used to even go back and tell the teacher at school, like, we don't know what he's doing here. He's our boss at work already. So, it was that fighting spirit, that eye of the tiger, that competitiveness I applied at that job. Still just a kid, right? So, then I go into probably the next thing that I did when I was young was, and this is what changed my life forever, was going to work at Papado. And the way it changed my life forever is meeting a key person in my life, okay? This guy's name is Preston Carter. All right. He changed my life forever. I love that guy. I owe him so much in life, man. He became like a mentor to me. Obviously, we were friends working at Papado, but he saw that competitive nature in me and how I like to compete. I like to be the best. And man, he took it to a whole nother level. He challenged me there at work. We were always number one or number two in sales and customer relations. And so, he taught me a lot of stuff I never knew that I could even do. And then old Preston tells me a story about him working at a car wash and says, hey, Jake, we can make like $60,000, $65,000 a year. Keep in mind, we're 17-year-old kids back then. And I'm going, what are you talking about? $65,000 a year. We're kids. We're 17. I know my family's school teachers, they make 30, 40 grand a year. This was years ago, and they need to pay teachers more, by the way. They probably still pay them that.
You're right.
But no matter what they pay them, they need to pay them more. Anyway, this guy told me about the car wash and the amount of money you can make. And he said that, he regretted leaving the car wash and going to Papado, and that, it was fun, and we thought we were making good money, but that we could go make a bunch of money at the car wash. And he thought I would do great there. And he said, would you want to go if I can get you a job? And I said, sure, I trust you, man. If you're talking about that much money, I'll try it out. Remember, I don't have anything to lose, Jesus. With that background I started with young, any opportunity that I could get, I was going to take advantage of. So I was willing and open to listen to anyone. So we go to the car wash. We end up making the money, the guy said, even more. We competed. We had fun. There's a whole episode we could do just on the car wash, right?
Just on the car wash.
Just on the car wash. But once again, I became a top level, if not the best guy at the car wash. Preston and a few others will debate that, but I'm open for it. And once again, this gentleman that I met working at Papado, Preston, well, he left. He got a job offer to go work at a mortgage company. And he always told me, he said, don't worry, buddy. If there's ever a chance, I'll come back and get you from the car wash. I promise. And I just kept working hard. Wasn't much later, maybe a couple months later. And sure enough, he says, man, I think I can get you the job. But, because of the background, you may only be able to telemarket for them. And then, you're able to work your way up and this, that, and the other. But at first, you may need to just telemarket. I said, shoot, show me where the phone is. Let me know. I go in the mortgage company. They say telemarket. We make 100 calls a day. And that's what you need to do. And you're going to take applications and this, that, and the other. And I look around, and there I am, a youngster, still a youngster. And there's all these folks in suits and, work dresses. The ladies and the guys are all professional. You could tell everybody, most of them went to college. And there I am in the little cubicle section where they put the telemarketers. And, I decided, what the heck, I'm going to see if I can do 500 calls. They want to do 100. I'm going to try 500. Oh, I did the 500. A couple months later, they moved me over to be the loan officer position or whatever they called it back then, where I was able to actually deal with the customers and do loans and processing and whatnot. And wouldn't you know it, I set a record. Ended up being the youngest branch manager that they had in the country for that company. Okay, they gave me my own location, my own team. And I'll never forget when I went to the interview to find out if I was going to become a branch manager, right? I'll never forget how I just had this feeling like, if I really get this opportunity to have a team of my own that I put together and I'm the coach or I'm the leader, we're going to kick everybody's butt. We broke the national record. We did 119 refinances in 1 month out of one location in good old Greens Point, Texas. Our boys, and they counted us out. The people that usually won the competition every month, it's a national company. They're from California and New York because the home values, the average loan size there is about double our loan size. We kicked all their butts. We kicked Beverly Hills, L.A., New York. They all got their butts kicked. And they didn't even know when the rankings came out, and there was that Greens Point, Texas at the top of the list. It just never stopped. It seems like everywhere that I went, that I was able to break records, set records, do things no one else had done before. And so that's where I just always realized, like, man, God's given me an ability for some reason. Why has he blessed me with these abilities? And I just go back to when I thought life was tough and, I thought nothing was going to go right. And I look back at all that and I go, wow, really all of those great things you've been able to do is because of all those bad things that you went through, and that's where I just woke up to realize, like, I just want to continue to share with people. Anyone that's worked with me over the years, they know I'll encourage you. I don't take excuses. If anyone could use excuses, I could have used them a long time ago, and it would have all been a wrap, right? True. And that's where I love to encourage. I love to give people opportunities that other people, that they wouldn't get from other people. And it's been a driving force to see other people's lives change too. But yeah, so the work story from the mortgage company is when when we were breaking those records, a friend of mine that was in law school approached me and said, man, you need to quit making all that money for those other companies, man. We need to open our own mortgage company. And so we did. You know what happened there. Broke more records, of course we did. And so I owned a business, I guess when I was 22, 23 years old is when I got my first business that I was part owner in. And that was a mortgage company called Innova Mortgage back in the day. And, you look back and just a few short years before that, I was incarcerated a kid, just no education, no anything. And here I am. I own half of a mortgage company. Oh, well, because you have no education and you had a messed up background when you're young, you can't own anything. No, bull crap. I had a partner that was an attorney. There's a legal way to do it. And we did it the legal way. But I owned the company, 50% with him. We'd set up a parent company or whatever we needed to do it the right way. It's where it's about having key people around you. So I don't want to hear any excuses about backgrounds or things that you did a long time ago, and that's why you don't have a good job, or that's why you don't have your business you always dreamed of. I don't want to hear any of that. And that's where, it's one thing to hear motivational speeches and people talk about things and you get pumped up from someone you don't even know because they do really good content, or it's another thing to see for yourself and to touch and see me and people around me and no, we've been down that road. We can get through that. I've done it, you can do it, or we'll do it together, And so that's the thing is from there, the mortgage company, I was blessed. I somehow opened a Mexican restaurant, one of the biggest Mexican restaurants ever in the Houston area. It was out in Katy called Vida Loca. All my Vida Loca regulars, they remember, they know. That was another outstanding success.
There was a thing that it hit me in the heart when we talked, that you said every time when you started from McDonald's all the way to the mortgage, that God blessed you with that ability and that everything you touched was becoming gold. And that's something that it hit me because you did. You went at it. You wanted to be the best of the best, and you did. And you had God with you all the way through it. No matter what the wrong things you did or the things that happened, at the beginning. But I just wanted to go back. Maybe we don't have to talk a little bit about it, but what was that thing that you did that ended up for you to being in jail?
Oh, when I was in jail, it was over selling drugs, And what the crazy thing is back then, because I had run away, I was broke as can be. So really, if it was a family with money or a kid with money, I doubt that any of the charges would have even stuck. I mean, we're talking about things where I got charged for having like seeds in a floorboard, seeds and stems back in the day. Now they don't even care if you have, bud anymore. But we're talking about silly charges that were, all related to being around the wrong people and being around drugs. And so that's how it started. That's where right from day one, if you stay around the right people, you stay around your family, you find yourself in trouble, you probably have a whole lot better shot of getting out of it. When me decided to be alone and I'm tough and I'm going to live on my own and this, that, and the other. Oh, okay. So then the government finds a way to stick some stuff on you that they wouldn't put on someone with money. But there was during those times, of course, like when I'm young and I'm locked up, and man, you go through some tough times. Obviously, you're in there, you don't know when you're getting out or this, that, and the other. I'm just so lucky and blessed, that when I was young, my dad had already planted seeds in me, seeds of strength, that eye of the tiger, that competitiveness. He was in coaching and karate, and he did, businesses. He owned a driving school and all kinds of different stuff. And that's what I got to see when I was really young. And all those seeds were inside of me, right? I remember watching Michael Jordan. I remember watching my Superman movies. I remember watching my dad. I remember listening to everything my dad told me about work ethic, about being the best. And I just started training myself mentally in my mind from that moment young in my life to just go after the world, and just be relentless and have that eye of the tiger. It was like Michael Jordan and Superman all together, and that's where I thought, yeah, I can do it. I can do whatever I want to do.
Before we get into that eye of the tiger, because I want to ask you that, what was the most important thing while you were in jail that you took out from there? That you were in that grasp and that you just heard God's voice and be like, this is something that I learned in there that you brought out to the world when you were out?
Yeah, I think the most important thing that I took when I was incarcerated was meeting the other kids, because when you're young, they keep all the youngsters together. You're in a youngster tank, and so I was in there in the youngster tank, and what I learned? I learned by meeting and living with people that were about to do 25, 40, 60 years in prison. See, I was going home. I knew it sucked I was there, but I knew I was going home. Didn't have any kind of charges or cases like these guys had, but we were in the same cell together. And so, yeah, it was real easy for me to sharpen up. When I saw people that were going to be gone and probably never see their mom or dad again, never have kids, that was it. And for me to spend that time, and that's where I knew, I said, Jake, you have an opportunity of a lifetime. You have all this opportunity in the world, And so that's where it just built a fire inside of me. So that, really, that's what I learned the most when I was in there, is that they could take your life away from you. If you keep being a dumb butt in life and you want to break the law, then you might as well be ready to say goodbye. Okay, that's what I learned. So,
man, that's powerful right there. But now let's get back to the eye of the tiger, because I know you talk about a lot of the eye of the tiger, Superman, and Michael Jordan. Who or what instilled that in you, the eye of the tiger, and like seeing like, hey man, I'm gonna be the Michael Jordan, but of my industry, I'm gonna make it happen?
Yeah, I think dreaming. It's okay to dream. When I watched my hero play basketball when I was a little kid, man, growing up, man, I respected so much that desire he had to win and just the passion. And so, that inside me a long time ago, I decided that's what I want to do. I want to dominate whatever I do, And so, it's something that it was a big part of my life. It's okay, you have heroes. Too many kids give up too early in life when they realize, oh, I'm not going to be a singer, I'm not going to be a rapper, I'm not going to play basketball or football professionally like I wanted to, and they're ready to give up, and all of a sudden things are negative or whatnot. And that's where somehow inside me I was able to say, no, you know what? I can still be the baddest dude on the planet when it comes to what I do, And so whatever I decided to do, like I said, started with just wrapping hamburgers at McDonald's. I wanted to be the best. All the way to owning businesses, wanted to be the best. When I got the restaurant, my goodness, from everything that I'd come from, I thought, man, I've done it. I did this, with the way that I started out. I wasn't supposed to accomplish anything. And there I was. I owned a mortgage company. Now there's a restaurant, and that's where I was married for a little while at that time. And then guess what? Life shows back up. Okay? That's where the who I was married to at the time just decided she wasn't happy anymore. I don't really know what it was, but just decided to leave. And that's where it really broke me, okay? You want to talk about where it was tough being locked up and you ran away and all this stuff. And boy, it felt tough at that time, right? But boy, did I find out what really feels tough. And it's called a divorce, okay? And you want to talk about breaking people. Oh, it'll break you. It'll break the best of us, right? As it should. And, if that doesn't break you, where your family is split up and, someone you thought you were going to love the rest of your life is gone, if that doesn't break you, I don't know what you're made of. Those are the kind of things that are going to test you and can break you down. It broke me down. I had that restaurant that was kicking butt. It was the #1 restaurant in Katy. I think we won the award a few times. You can look it up, verify. Never drank at that place. I owned that place for, 5 or 6 years. I'd say the first 4.5 years, never touched a drink in my own restaurant, my own bar. Once I went through the divorce, all of a sudden I was drinking at my own place, right? Well, what do you think that led to? That led to me being a dumb butt like you wouldn't believe, okay? So then you end up being a drunk, which is what I ended up being. I went through a spell of being a drunk. I was sad. I was depressed. My son at the time was about 8 years old or so, didn't live with his dad anymore, living by myself. Man, it's tough. You single dads and moms out there that have been through that, you guys know. And I know what that feels like. And then you're lonely, you're at your house, or your new apartment. You lived at a house with your family and your kids and your dogs, and now you're at an apartment. You don't even know what to do. And that's why a lot of us go to drinking. A lot of us go to posting our spaghetti pictures on Facebook. That's what you do. All of a sudden, you see everybody's food every meal of the day. And I'm like, man, that poor dude's sad, man. I remember what that felt like when I had to post all my food. No, there's some of y'all that aren't sad posting your food. Don't get mad at me. There's good food. I'm telling you from my own experience, when I look back at my Facebook memories and I see me posting some dumb, irrelevant stuff, I was sad. I guess I was just reaching out for attention or hoping somebody would look at my picture of spaghetti and go, oh, let's go have a drink. I don't know what we hope. When you post it, oh, look, here's my sandwich. And you just sit there and wait. Oh, I hope they're going to say, I don't know what we think, but I know I can look at Facebook. You know what's cool? Go through your Facebook memories, okay? Facebook, what I love about it is the history book it has on you. Okay? I don't know if anyone's done this for a while, not just a few. Go back through years of what you were posting and look at it. Study yourself, okay? Look at things and realize where you were at in your heart and see if your history and your old feelings can help you today. Because I've used that stuff. I look back at where I went wrong and right. I look back at feelings I had and I try to manage them better when I'm in a situation where it's going to be stress or anxiety or whatever it is. I'm not saying I go back to look at Facebook to see what I did. What I'm saying is it's the whole picture of your life. Your brain has most of this already ready for you to pull on it, right? But there is a great tool right there, okay, to go back and look at time. And it'll just help you. It'll help you get to know yourself a little better. It just really will. It's one thing I really like about the socials.
Today, when I was driving here, I was listening to a podcast. I didn't finish it, but the guy said, sometimes we look for a lot of motivation to motivate us when you already have your motivation already. That started. Is it your daughter? Is it your son? Is it your family? It's there. Why don't you, like you just said, why don't I just go back and say, I started because of that. What happened to me?
Yeah.
Why am I not pushing myself even further when I know I'm doing it because of her or because of him? But we look into too much motivation. Ain't nothing wrong, but it's already in you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned that, and I heard that today.
Yep. No, it's unbelievable. I mean, pretty much everything you need to succeed is already in you. All those fires and stuff, they just get held down, whether it's the devil or it's, bad people around you, whatever it is. But that's where your environment is so important. I know it's the old saying, you are who you hang out with, but you really are who you hang out with, okay? So that environment, see, having people like a Preston Carter in my life took me when I was a vulnerable, had all the raw talent in the world, right? All the talent in the world. But here's a guy that wanted to challenge me more. Here's a guy that I thought, man, if we were competing in something, he might be able to beat me. And I wasn't used to thinking that way. So it just brought out so much more in me. So like you said, those things that are inside you, I think they stay stuck inside a lot of people unless you're hanging out with the right people, right? If you have greatness and motivation inside you, but you're hanging out with your broke Uncle Willie every day and y'all are happy just killing a 12-pack of beer every day, those motivations and that fire's not coming out with old Uncle Willie, okay? Now you find you a Preston Carter that's going to challenge you. Me and this dude, we would stay up late after working, whether it was Papado or the car wash. We would stay up late talking about how we could do better at work the next day. We're literally working on technique. We just sold car washes, man. They were like $8. And this man is making me practice in his living room, walking up to cars. I'm asking him, what's the secrets? What's the secrets, man? I know there's secrets that you say that you haven't told me yet. And he'd tell me stories of legendary salespeople before us. And he'd make up crazy stories about how the records they would break and how the numbers they used to do. And he would say, yeah, those are the best. Those are the guys. I found out years later, some of the people, it was make-believe. These weren't even real people. He was motivating me. He was going to do whatever it took to motivate his friend because he loved seeing how his friend was so competitive and how I loved getting knowledge and information from him. And he loved it so much he would make up things. When you are trying to do things to better your family, to better your business, the haters are going to jump out the bushes. And you want them to. Soon as you see the bushes shaking, you know the haters are about to pop out. So that's what's going on with that. But yeah, I can't wait to bring Ariel up here. There's a few other folks that, we're going to line it up. We're going to bring in some special guests. We're going to bring in some folks that help me along the way. We're definitely going to get Preston Carter in here. I want to bring some of my other friends. I go back, one of my buddies, the guy that I was sleeping on the floor, there was a point. He took me to get a job when we were young. His name's Kevin, my buddy Kevin Stoddard. And, I just remembered this. It came up. This fool, when I went to the car wash, I didn't have transportation. So I asked, and my friend said, yeah, I'll take you. Well, he realized it was such a long drive to take me to the Galleria to work. When he got there, he was like, dude, man, by the time I go back home and this, that, and other, I'm just going to stay up here. Is there anything I can do? And the car wash people were, well, all we can do is let you vacuum. And, back then it was probably $5 an hour or something. And remember, I was in the sales team at the car wash, so I can make good money, right? My buddy, dude, he literally vacuumed at that car wash for a few months just to take me to work. He would drive me to work, both of us. He would go to the back and vacuum and make peanuts while his friend was up at the front trying to make good money, right? That's the kind of friends I've had along the way. That's the kind of people you need in your life. How many people are willing to do that? So thank you, buddy. I'll never forget those times. You're going to deal with so much negativity whenever you try to start doing something good, okay? When we try to go to the next level in life, you have to be ready for the negativity to come in and hit you from every direction. The devil's going to try to hit you. Your so-called friends and family, you're going to find out who really is friends and family. Because when you try to do something good for yourself or your family or your business, you should run into forces you feel against you, okay? Or you're not going the right way. You're not traveling the right way if you don't feel something against you. And that's where I learn each day. My wife, it's just unbelievable. I'm so blessed, so blessed. That's a whole nother chapter, 10 chapters. Just dealing with having someone that supports you and loves you for who you are, okay? And that's where I lucked up. Big time I lucked up. And, it's crazy. With us, you think you do, you try to do good by people in life, and which me and my family, we do. And, man, it's amazing. I just see the haters on her stuff, on her social medias and stuff. She's highly successful, okay, at what she does. And you have people... There was a fun video, I think it's fun, that she put on one of our socials, and it was one of the trends on TikTok or something, and it was me and her on there, and I think it's over like 1 million views or even more than that now, and you just see all the hateful comments, And what these people, literally, what hateful people are willing to do, they see a picture of her and I think it says something about, you know, we came from little or nothing and we're blessed now to have a great business and this, that, and the other. And then, you know, people are in there like, oh, he has a great business. He blessed you. He did this. He did that. And, you know, I think the main thing is they see a beautiful woman in the video. And I guess maybe this is everybody telling me I'm ugly as crap. I don't know what it is, because think about it. If we both looked like movie stars, if we both look the same exact age, then would they still be saying it's all my money, or is it just because I look a little older? You know, and what's crazy is they have no idea. This woman fell in love with me when I was going through the toughest time. Remember, I told you, divorce and separation and drunkenness. That's the time that I was at. And as I was healing, this woman fell in love with me. As I was losing all my money, as I lost everything I had, all physical possessions, money, I went from owning the mortgage company, owning a big restaurant, successful, to sleeping on a mattress at my buddy's house on the floor, a mattress on the floor, when Ariel and I first met. That's the point I was at. For your business, you're only as good as the people you have. So look around at the people you have in your business today. At home, look at the people you have around your home. Look at the people around your kids. You know, look at who you're hanging out with, and ask yourself, is this the kind of folks that I want to be around? Do they have the same goals in mind? Yeah, you know, reach out to me if anyone has any questions or anything I can help with. Jake at LincolnJacobConstruction.com. Yeah, reach out to me. You have questions on business, finding a job, helping your business grow or go to the next level, anything, personal stuff. So, yeah, reach out to me. I'm all about communicating with folks.
I love everything that you said, man. I was just here, like I said, just asking the questions, and I felt really great. Everything that you said, it gave me knowledge today for things that it can help me in every aspect of life. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. I want to leave with a tagline for today. Use your disadvantages to your advantage. What?